We are live. Welcome everybody we're going to cover Q1 2023 quarter one of the Ohio housing report. As we expand, we cover more than just Central Ohio here on the podcast. So we're going to talk about what's going on in Ohio and start covering data, because if you're a buyer or seller, you better listen because things keep changing. It's really weird, but we're going to cover all the data because data doesn't lie right after this. Well, welcome everybody. Happy spring. The weather is great. It's so nice that the weather's nice and we can get outside and do soccer and fishing. That's what it seems like I've been doing all my spare time with the kids. So enough of that. Let's talk about the real estate market. That's why we listen to this. So listen, if you're a realtor, you better know these data and statistics because things keep changing all the time and we want to keep up on it. So let's just go over the data and then we'll hash it out for everybody at home. So we're going to talk about Central Ohio and Dayton markets today. Well, let's talk about Central Ohio. That covers about a third of the state of Ohio, basically central Columbus on out. There was 2,300 closings that were in the month of March of 2023, and that's down 5% from last year at this time. Dayton closed 1,100 homes, and they're down 10% year over year. So not great numbers. I mean, we have a lot less closings. So what does that mean? Is there a lot less listings? Why are things not closing? Well, let's keep moving on. So the average sale price, which is weird, keeps increasing. So in Central Ohio, it's we increased 3.1%. So if you own a home, you bought a home last year at this time, guys, it's going to be worth about 3% more than it was last year. Now, 3% is perfect. That's exactly where we want to be. That is rule of thumb. That's statistically where people need to, have appreciation of real estate historically. During COVID, we had 15% increases. There's places that were in Boise, Salt Lake City that were having 80% increases. That's not sustainable. We here in Ohio, we saw anywhere from 10 to 15% increases, if you remember, and that's not normal for us, especially, but that has cooled off. So we're getting back to more stable market. We're seeing about a 3% increase. Now, Dayton fared better than Columbus. Dayton is seeing about a 6% increase year over year on their real estate prices. So if you bought a house in Dayton last year, it's worth about 6% more. All right. Pretty easy math. Now, so I guess the question is closings are down. Is there less listings? Are people just not buying? The rates are high. We keep talking about that. What does that mean? Well, not really. Things are still going pretty fast. I mean, over 70% of all homes that are sold sell in a month. So if you're thinking about listing your house, you might want to consider it because two things. One, they're selling within a month. So if you put the sign in the yard today, in about 30 days, you'll have a contract. Not sold, but you'll have a contract. That's pretty good. I mean, that includes $1 million homes down to $50,000 homes. That's an average of everything. So home sales are that the time on market is getting a little smaller, which is typical this time of year. Spring, summer, homes do go, they do sell and they fly off the shelves a little faster than they do in the winter. That's how it's statistically always been historically, and that's okay. So we're not seeing much change there, though. But the thing that's really interesting right there, homes on average are still selling over list price. And I'm kind of surprised with that. Last year at this time, on average, a house would sell 3% over list price. But right now, in the month of March, now we're at the beginning of May, obviously, hence the nice weather outside. But in March, we were selling right at list price. right at list price. So that's interesting to me, because homes, I honestly I think are listed a little high, and I know some of the properties that we're listing in Ashmont, they're a little on the high side, and some of them we sold under list price, but clearly there's people getting over list on things as well, which I've seen with our listing specifically as well. So listen, if you're a seller out there, you're going to get full price for your house if you price it right. Buyers, be ready. You got to pay up. There, the with the inventory constricting a little bit more, we're going to show you here in a second. Is inventory constricts a little bit, you're going to have to pay up because there's not going to be as many choices again. So let's talk about inventory. Let's segue into that. There was 2,600 new listings in Central Ohio. That's 20% less than last year. Well, there you go, guys. There's your low closed sales. If you have less listings for sale or less houses on market for sale, then you're going to have less sales closed, which means homes that have sold because there's not as many listings. So makes sense, guys. So we're down 20% new listings in March of this year than last year. Dayton is down 15%. So things are slowing down. So title companies, realtors, less houses listed means less houses you can sell. So things are tightening up a little bit in March. Okay. So let's talk about let's just talk about what's going on. Well, I think the biggest thing is interest rates. If you have other ideas or any theories and hypotheses in it, put it in the description below. I love to debate and talk a little bit about it. But, why do we have less houses for sale this year than last year? Well, I mean, the biggest thing is people really aren't wanting to sell because they're not getting a great deal on the next house. But most importantly, a lot of people, anyone that has owned a home in the last 30 years, probably are sitting on a 3.5% interest rate, maybe high twos. And, when you sell a house right now, inventory is a little tight. Still, not like it was Q4 of last year. Last year, the last half of the year, we had a decent amount of inventory, but it's getting tight again. And when you have those people that might consider selling, when they start looking at what else is out there, and they're seeing a house that's going to be a step up from what they currently have. The problem is, they're going to be sitting at a 6.5% interest rate. So even though they might be paying more, buying a house just less than where they're living at now because of the interest rate. I mean, a $300,000 house at 3%, you buy a $300,000 house at 6%, that might be $500 to $700 more a month. So it doesn't make sense. It might price them right out of the opportunity for them to make a next step up. So that's kind of what a lot of people's hesitancy is on it. We might see a little dip in with inflation numbers coming out this summer. We'll see. Rates right now with no points or buy downs are still sitting at 6.5%, give or take on the day. So with that being said, that is Q1 housing statistics in Ohio. If you guys have any questions, or if you're thinking about getting into real estate, let me know. I'd be happy to get you in that direction. Adam Ashma, Hondros College and broker at Ashmont Realty. Have a great month, everybody. We'll see you and see what's going to happen in April. See ya.